Okay, welcome to the broadcast tonight. My name is Emmanuel Kutosi, standing in for Daphne Arena, and the sign language interpretation will be sailing through with Sharon Wamboi. Now, we kick off with a controversial report where the Director of Criminal Investigation, George Kinoti, has said there is no evidence that the Venezuelan citizens arrested at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport are employees of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Kinoti has explained what led to the arrest of the three Venezuelans, as Caroline Kimwele now reports.
The Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, has denied allegations of wrongfully arresting Venezuelan citizens following a statement made by the chairman of IEBC, Wafula Chebukati, on July 22, 2022, which stated that DCI was harassing their personnel and wrongfully confiscated items to be used by the Commission during the general elections. In a statement dated July 23, 2022, Kinoti said the Venezuelan nationals, who are Jose Gregorio, Joel Gustavo, and Salvador Javier, were arrested after their bag, which contained election materials, was flagged at the airport. The bag contained 17 rolls of stickers targeted to serve at least 10,000 polling stations in 10 counties of Nairobi, Kiambu, Nakuru, Meru, Machakos, Murang'a, Bomet, Nyeri, Tharaka Nithi, Nyandarua, and Kericho. According to Kinoti, police established that the suspects' contracts did not explicitly state they were employees of IEBC or Smartmatic International, the presumed IT firm contracted to deliver poll materials as alleged by IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati. Further investigations also revealed that the suspects Camargo and Joel Gustavo traveled in the country using expired passports. According to DCI, the three foreigners were in the country for business with one Abdullahi Abdi Muhammad. Further investigations are still ongoing. Caroline Kimwele, KUTV.
Technology has infiltrated many sectors, one of them being medicine. With me is Daniel Kimani, the CEO and founder of Hospital that connects healthcare providers with the underserved in the society.
So if you look at a hospital at current state is, we can say we are just starting at what we have in mind. We are building a virtual hospital for doctors. We are trying to bring that physical hospital to the doctor side, like the moment doctor enter hospital, the moment they leave. We give you a chance to upload the reports to our platform, then assign it to a doctor. We give you the capability of personalizing a doctor. I want to be getting ex-doctor for the rest of my services.
Karibu kwenye mitindo ya kipwani. Nguo yangu wasenesi makire mtuzeka sana nenda finira chechemekwe. Nguo yangu wasenesi makire mtuzeka. Yani unavyoona basi niko kipwani pwani tu.
Wali unapopika inatakana ku half cooked.
Bagari. Niko katika kaunti ya Kilifi, magavazi ya Gede.
Stream live mitindo ya kipwani on our KUTV Facebook page every Saturday 4 p.m.
Kenya Kwanza coalition, led by their presidential candidate Dr. William Samuel Arap Ruto, took their campaigns to Kericho County to drum up support for the presidential bid. Well, at it, the coalition has demanded that President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Azimio team and the DCI boss George Kinoti to keep off the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission and allow the commission to prepare adequately for next month's general election following a discord between the IEBC and the DCI earlier this week.
The Kenya Kwanza coalition, led by the presidential candidate Dr. William Ruto, continued with their vote hunting mission in Kericho County, where they held a major rally at the Kapkaket Stadium. Following the ongoing fiasco between the DCI and IEBC concerning the Venezuela arrest, the coalition now says President Kenyatta, the Azimio team and the DCI boss George Kinoti should keep off the IEBC and allow the commission to prepare adequately for the next month's general election.
You have 2 weeks as President of Kenya. You have a duty, a constitutional duty, to make sure that we have free, fair, democratic elections.
Ruto and his team also protested what they said was manipulation of government officials to intimidate the IEBC and coerce voters to support their main opponent Azimio's Raila Odinga.
Tumeona hii mzee akitendawili ameanza kuleta sarakasi. Aanza kusema IEBC, Chebukati, register. Hiyo ni njia ya kuanza kukataa matokeo ya uchaguzi. Na tungetaka tukuambie bwana kitendawili, in 2007 ulileta shida ukaingizwa kwa serikali ya Kibaki kwa nguvu. 2017 ukatoa fujo, ukauzia Uhuru Kenyatta uoga akanunua, akakuingiza kwa serikali. Nataka nikuambie nikiwa hapa Kericho, this time round hatutakubalia wewe kuleta fujo katika Jamhuri ya Kenya.
Speaking at the event, Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula took on Interior CS Fred Matiang'i and DCI boss George Kinoti over the interference with the IEBC activities.
Please, we want to ask you not to allow the security agencies, people who have sinister motives, to intimidate or blackmail the IEBC or to undermine the elections of 9th of August. You have a duty. We know you are also the chairman of Azimio. Please don't confuse your duties as the chairman of Azimio and your duties as the president of Kenya.
Presidential candidates continue to traverse the country to ensure they win the election in the first round as the general election countdown continues to draw closer. Mwaka Samuel, KUTV.
And on the other end of the political divide, Azimio la Umoja's flag bearer Raila Amolo Odinga toured Embu, Tharaka Nithi and Laikipia counties, accompanied by his running mate Martha Wangari Karua, on a mission to bolster support for his presidential bid in the upcoming general elections. Raila stated that Kenyans are struggling to keep up with the high standards of living and was adamant that the two runners, it is the ones who can actually tackle those problems that are facing Kenyans.
With the official deadline of the end of the campaign period fast approaching, the Azimio la Umoja's brigade made a stop in Tharaka Nithi County to pitch their agenda in order to get their support in the upcoming August 9th elections. ODM leader Raila Odinga stated that the 4 main issues affecting Kenyans' lives were poor health and education sectors, poverty and corruption, boldly stating that only his administration can efficiently handle the issues at hand.
Kama Wakenya, tuko na adui wanne wakubwa. Adui ngapi? Adui ngapi? Ugonjwa, ujinga, umaskini, ufisadi.
Odinga further promised Tharaka Nithi residents that his government will reform the agricultural, health and education sectors with affordable loans, baba care and free primary, secondary and tertiary education for all.
Kwa hiyo sisi tunaambia nyinyi tuko na mpango kambambe ya kubadilisha Kenya. Msisikize propaganda ambayo inaenezwa na wale wengine. Wale ndio wamepaleta Kenya pale iko sahihi. Kuna maneno mengi domokaya. Lakini vitendo hakuna.
The ODM leader highlighted his proposed social protection program that will benefit people from less fortunate backgrounds who will be entitled to a 6,000 monthly stipend paid for by his government.
Sisi tulikuwa tumependekeza ya kwamba tupandishe pesa ambayo inatoka Nairobi na kuja hapa mashinani kutoka 15 hadi 35 kwa 100 katika BBI. Tutaimplement, tutaleta pesa mingi kutoka kule juu ije hapa chini. Sawa?
Azimio running mate Martha Karua echoed Odinga's sentiments and urged residents to vote while considering the future generation, reassuring residents that if elected, she would protect everyone's interests.
Baba ashawaelezea ile mambo yote tutafanyia Wakenya. Ndivyo tuweze kufanya hiyo mambo, lazima tulinde rasilimali ya Wakenya. Ikichukuliwa uiporwe na wachache, waweke kwa mifuko yao, wajigambe ni matajiri, hakutakuwa na pesa ya kuwafanyia kazi.
Odinga was accompanied by several Azimio la Umoja leaders, including Peter Kenneth, Peter Munya, Raphael Tuju, and Junet Mohammed, who all backed his bid, touting him as the only solution to Kenya's problems. Only 15 days remaining until the general election, Kenyans are being urged to vote wisely to secure their future. Irongo Kagoda, KUTV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Rongo, for that report. Now, Azimio presidential candidate Raila Odinga has objected the forthcoming proceedings of the presidential debate, saying that it was not only a bad idea, but also questioned his opponent William Ruto's morals. At the same time, presidential hopeful George Wajakoya of the Roots Party has presented his ultimatum, threatening to boycott the debate. Kanana Kivinji with this report.
In a report to Newsroom, Azimio la Umoja presidential candidate Raila Odinga has reiterated that he will not take part in the forthcoming presidential debate scheduled for Tuesday, July 26. According to Odinga, and I quote, "A traditional debate structure with opposing candidates joined together on stage is a bad idea this year." End of quote. Raila also took a shot at presidential candidate William Ruto, saying, and I quote, "He is a man who has no regard for ethics, public morals, or shame. That is why he has demanded that the debate not focus on corruption, integrity, ethics, and governance, the key existential questions that Kenya faces." End of quote. Odinga, however, said that together with his running mate Martha Karua, they will answer questions asked by the people of Kenya honestly and free from what would otherwise be nothing more than empty self-serving political theatre. At the same time, Roots Party presidential candidate Professor George Wajakoya has reiterated that he will only attend the forthcoming presidential debate on condition that he will be in the same panel with the top two presidential candidates, Raila Odinga and William Ruto, stating that it is discriminatory to him.
Waniweke na Ruto, waniweke na Maure kwa meza moja, mimi siendi.
The presidential debate is set to be conducted on July 26 from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., with the organizers being the Kenya Editors Guild. The moderators will be Smriti Vidyarthi, Ken Mijungu, Yvonne Okwara, and Eric Latif. Kanana Kithinji, KUTV.
President Uhuru Kenyatta and the First Lady Margaret Kenyatta had a special Thanksgiving prayer and a worship service at State House Nairobi Gardens, the main purpose being gratitude for a 10-year tenure serving the country. The service was attended by State House of Kenya staff led by State House Controller Mr. Kinuthia Mbugua and Chief of Staff, First Lady's Office, Ms. Constance Gakonyo.
His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta on Sunday, July 24th, held a special Thanksgiving prayer and worship service in the State House, Nairobi Garden. The event was led by the President together with First Lady Margaret Kenyatta, and in attendance were several government officials, the State House staff led by Comptroller Mr. Kinuthia Mbugua, and the First Lady's Office Chief of Staff, Ms. Constance Gakonyo. The President and the First Lady held the event to give thanks to God for a successful 10-year tenure in office as the Excellencies. The sermon was led by the African Inland Church Bishop, Abraham Mulwa.
For 10 good years, you never went home. For 10 good years, you have been running up and down. For 10 good years, you have been planning and strategizing, even when it is so difficult, like the times of COVID.
President Uhuru Kenyatta and the First Lady Margaret Kenyatta will be exiting office after the elections on August 9 next month to pave way for the next fifth president of Kenya since independence in 1963. This follows the First Lady's celebration on marking 10 years of Beyond Zero campaigns on Friday 22nd July 2022 that she started with the aim of saving women and children. Nyambura Kabura, KUTV.
2 people have succumbed to injuries after a road accident in Kisumu County, Kombewa, along Bondo Road on Saturday the 23rd of July. 20 others were seriously injured and were rushed to Kombewa Sub-County Hospital. 11 were in critical condition and were referred to Jaramogi Rudinga Referral, where they are still fighting for their lives. The accident, as confirmed by Nyanza Regional Traffic Commander Mwangi Nganga, occurred when a Lake Bell Sacco Matatu from Bondo heading to Kisumu had a tire bus rolling over into a ditch. Kisumu County Governor Anyang' Nyong'o has sent his condolences to the affected families and wished quick recovery to those in hospitals. The driver of the matatu is still on the run and being sought by police. Now we look at the COVID-19 stats in the country, where today 55 people have tested positive for COVID-19 from a sample size of 1,934 tested in the last 24 hours. The positivity rate is now at 2.8%. Total confirmed positive cases are now at 337,297. 153 people have recovered, bringing the total recoveries to 330,777. No patient has succumbed to the disease, fortunately, leaving the cumulative fatalities at 5,670. All right, it's about that time for our first break right here on KUTV Primetime News. Stay tuned, we'll be back in a moment.
KUTV, in conjunction with Kenyatta University Funeral Home, is now offering death announcements immediately following our news bulletins at 7 p.m. At this sorrowful time, as you share in your grief, allow us to communicate your announcement of your loved one on KUTV in both Kiswahili and English. For more details, kindly inquire at the KU Funeral Home Service Desk or call 0736 928 380 or dial 020 359 9054.
Technology has infiltrated many sectors, one of them being medicine. With me is Daniel Kimani, the CEO and founder of Hospital that connects healthcare providers with the underserved in the society.
So if you look at a hospital at current state, we can say we are just starting at what we have in mind. We are building a virtual hospital for doctors. We are trying to bring that physical hospital to the doctor side, like the moment doctor enter hospital, the moment they leave. We give you a chance to upload the reports to our platform, then assign it to a doctor. We give you the capability of personalizing a doctor. I want to be getting ex-doctor for the rest of my services.
The sporting world in general is a lucrative form of industry, and among the money-making games, football tops the charts. To no one's surprise, football is the major league sport in history. Almost every country participates in football to some level, and there are about 4 billion people who say they follow football to some level of degree. It is with no doubt that football eclipses all other sports in the world.
Welcome back, and now we are heading to matters agriculture. Now, Rainforest Alliance, an international non-governmental organization, has embarked on a program of popularizing insect rearing as a new lifeline and source of income among youth and women in Embu and Kirinyaga counties. Facilitator Ms. Charlene Murioke from the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology Enterprise Department said insect farming offered a highly economical and sustainable solution to food and nutrition insecurity in the country. Nyeri County Commissioner Edison Nyale hailed the initiative, saying it was a sure way of keeping the youth, majority of whom are jobless, away from crime, and challenged them to be early adapters of the project and other emerging technologies.
Hawa wadudu tunajaribu kuwakuza in terms of value addition kwa incorporation ya animal feeds na value addition katika vyakula kama unga ambavyo tunaweza zikula sisi wenyewe kuongeza protein content ya vyakula vyetu. Pili, tungehimiza watu waongeze ukuzaji wa hawa wadudu sababu tunatumia waste sana sana kwa black soldier fly.
Wadudu wanaweza kuongezea dhamana kwa unga yangu na iko na protein nyingi sana, na nikiweka kwa unga yangu inasaidia watu, watoto, hata watu wazima wakitumia hiyo unga inakuanga mzuri.
From insect farming to dairy farming, where dairy farmers are being encouraged to invest in the forage-based dairy production system that cuts down the cost of production. The Director General of Carlo, Elliot Krieger, noted that animal feeds are becoming expensive and many dairy farmers have been forced to either downsize or close down their dairy business ventures.
Inadequate feed has always been a constraint to dairy cattle on smallholder farms, notwithstanding also the weather and climate, which also affects the abundance and quality of feed, translating to quantity and quality of milk produced. The government, through the Kenya Agricultural Livestock Research Organization, has been working with farmers to increase dairy productivity through use of improved forages. According to CARO Director General Eliud Kirega, Kenya is quite advanced in dairy farming, but there are still some challenges that hinder production.
Over 80% of the farmers, the dairy farmers, are small scale, operating on 2 acres or less. So the model we are showing today to the farmers is how to manage a small dairy farm using available or pasture-based feeding. Because as you are aware, feed for livestock is very expensive.
Animal feeds are becoming expensive, and many dairy farmers have also been forced to either downsize or close down their dairy business venture.
Under this project, we are working with the Irish government, who has supported us in this project with several other partners. We have done research to try and develop livestock systems and livestock breeds that are able to use minimum available feed, and produce enough milk to be able to make business.
William Ayako, a research scientist from Calro, has emphasized on breeds that are economical and have the economical breeding effect, especially for the small-scale farmers.
Farmers tend to think that a cow that produces 50 liters per day is the best cow. That cow requires a lot of feed, especially on concentrates. And that is why we are emphasizing that on the breeds we have here, we are trying to come up with those breeds that are economical. Economic breeding index is a cow that is cheap for a farmer to keep by producing milk from forage-based.
Nakuru County farmers have testified the benefits from the project as the 3 sub-counties in which the program was piloted, that is Rongai, Kuresoi North and Kuresoi South, farmers are practicing fodder-based system intervention.
Currently, we are doing about over 350 million liters of milk per day, per year as a county, because most of our farmers, let me say, we have developed the systems of the feeding systems.
Dairy farming is the single largest subsector in Kenya's agriculture, accounting for 6 to 8% of the country's GDP, but is characterized by low input and low yield systems, which produce much less than the national herd potential of 4 to 8 liters a day. Kanana Kithinji, KUTV.
No, she has been a self-employed poultry farmer since 2003 after quitting her former job. She has never regretted her decision because the business, well, pays well, just from the comfort of her home. Beatrice, who is from Gitaru region in Kiambu County, rears over 500 layers and broiler chicken. Listen.
Beatrice Njogu is a poultry farmer keeping chicken for both layers and broilers in Gitaru region, Kiambu County. She embraces the open poultry method, where she does not use cages for her chickens due to experience of the high cost of cages before. Previously, she was employed as a cattle farmer before her self-employment business.
Wakati nilikuwa nimeanza mambo ya farming, nilianza na ng'ombe. Sasa nikakuwa challenged sana na ng'ombe kwa maana vijana wanawacha kazi, wanakuacha. Nikaona hii mambo ya kukata nyasi kutafuta majani na tuko kwa plots na nisugua. Sasa decide nikuje kwa poultry. Na uzuri wa poultry mimi mwenyewe hata nikikosa mtu najifanyia.
She started her poultry farming business in the year 2003 after quitting her former employment with the aim of being self-reliant. Normally, a chick costs her approximately 150 Kenya shillings, where she feeds the chick up to the right time they start laying eggs or being sold for meat.
Tunanunua one day old chick. Kwa hivyo one day old chick at the moment tunanunua 130 per piece. Na unaanza kuwalea since that time mpaka iwe kuku mkubwa. Tunapea moto ikiwa dogo ndio wapate feathers, vaccine. The process ndio kuku iwe kubwa.
Annually, Njogu sells all her chicken to chicken meat joints to help her accommodate more chicken to lay eggs and sell for meat. Her main aim is to get eggs and meat for sale from the chicken.
Hii ni mayai. Sana sana ni mayai, lakini wakizeeka tunawauza nyama. Lakini ni after 1 year, 1.5 year. Yani mwaka moja na nusu hivi ama mwaka moja na 2 months. Lakini sana sana hii ni mayai tu. Na uzuri wa mayai hiyo ni market lead. Kuna wakati utakosa pahali pa kupeleka mayai. Si kama broilers saa zingine una order pahali na imefika, lakini uzuri wa mayai hata hapa kwa duka tutapeleka. Hata ukiwa na shida ya pesa utauza tu na upate pesa. Na market pia ya mayai iko juu sana.
Hard work pays. From the layers, Beatrice receives 500 eggs daily and sells to her customers, while others collect booked egg trays at home or even to buy a chicken.
Niko na kuku 500 zile zinataga na hizi bado ziko karibu sana, maybe from next week. Hizo 500 natoa at least 15 trays per day. So 15 trays per day, that is about 450 pieces per day. And that is almost 80% or 95%. No, about 90% of laying.
Farmers in Kenya have been largely affected by the economy, especially after the corona pandemic and the political war between Ukraine and Russia, which has led to high cost of living. But what are some of the challenges Njogu faces?
Kuna changamoto kwa maana saa zingine feeds huwa wanatu let down. Saa zingine the quality ya feeds sio mzuri. Sasa quality ikikosa kuwa mzuri, kuku hawezi taka mzuri. Sasa saa zingine tunakuwa na hizo challenges, ama saa zingine kuku ziko na shida. Tena kwa wakati wa baridi haitagi vizuri. Although hiyo inakuwaga on and off.
Beatrice Njogu loves her work because she depends on it economically to cater for her daily needs. She also adds that the joy that revolves around seeing her chicken roam around her compound is unmeasured and comforting. Nyambura Kabura, KUTV.
All right, we're now into the world of sports, and we start off with the Safaricom Golf Tour, where home player Nelson Nyoike beat a field of 253 golfers to win the 13th leg of the Safaricom Golf Tour held at the Par 72 Vetlab Golf Clubs. Playing off handicap 21, the 62-year-old golfer capitalized on the home advantage and his excellent form to post 22 points in the front 9 before doubling the scores in the back 9 to post a total of 44 points, courtesy of 12 pars, 4 double bogeys and 2 bogeys, enabling him to claim the overall title ahead of the Watson Burugu with 40 points.
Yeah, I think what we've seen as everyone has gotten to know about the tournament and as time has passed, we've seen more and more interest. So in Nakuru we had 159 juniors. In Vetlab, I'm told already 175 have registered, with 40 in waiting list.
All right, and that's our happy type here on the Weekend Live. My name is Emmanuel Kutosi, and your sign language interpretation will be saying through with Sharon Wamboi. From us to you, have a peaceful night, and to the whole team involved in the production of tonight's broadcast, bravo. Good night.
KUTV, in conjunction with Kenyatta University Funeral Home, is now offering death announcements immediately following on news bulletins at 7 p.m. At this sorrowful time, as the Shine